Man, I had the craziest morning just trying to go to the doctor.
Uh-huh.
So you got like that Medicaid doctor. You ever feel like where it's like you kind of go through life and there's certain aspects of it where because you know you're broke, but you don't feel broke.
Yeah.
It doesn't really confront you. And then every once in a while, I'm just in a situation where I just look around and it's like, oh wait, this is how it is.
Yeah.
This is reality. Because like, you normally if you're broke, even with like unemployment, when we were getting unemployment during the pandemic, the money just showed up in your account.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you knew where it was coming from, but it wasn't like you had to like be somewhere
Yeah.
that reminded you of it. And even with Medicaid, because like Medicaid, normally it's like it's just your insurance is just covered, things are covered. So it's like that's just a load off your mind. But when you actually have to go to the Medicaid office, to the doctor and use your Medicaid, that's when it's like, oh no, this is who you are.
Right.
I'm like, yeah. It's just like the doctor's office, the Medicaid doctor's office is just a hallway.
Mm-hmm.
So you just sit down. There's just a bunch of chairs lined up in a hallway, and there's like at the door of the patient's rooms, they just open.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting there. So every once in a while, a door just opens, and I'm just face to face with a guy who's just laying on his back with like cardiogram stuff on his chest, and we're just making eye contact, and it's just like, yep. This is what we do.
Should have worked harder.
Yeah, right.
I mean, dude, I looked into getting medical myself, and it's like $1,100 a month.
Oh my god.
Just a normal medical or a decent one, $1,100.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably a couple cheaper ones, but what do you
That
get?
Medicaid office, it was just so like, I don't know. I felt like I was in a different country.
What part of town is yours in?
It was Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy.
Oh yeah.
But it's just like people just walking in and out, talking on the phone. There's a TV that's on for some reason with the sound on.
Yeah.
So there's just daytime television playing. People just talking on the phone.
Oh yeah.
I can hear people walking in to like the entrance, and there's just guys just stopping in to say hello.
Yeah.
Just talking to the receptionist, just hanging out.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a system too where it's like, it's just walk-ins.
And I don't know about yours, but it's like okay to just yell and be ignorant at the patient.
Yeah. You sit down.
Yeah.
You've had enough. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I get yelled at just walking in sometimes. Yeah, yours, man. I know people out there, man. Mine's up in the what do you call up in the on like 110th Street or something.
Yeah.
In Amsterdam, it's the 4th floor of a hospital.
Oh, well.
And it's like, dude, it's always slam packed. There's like, I walked out and left. Like, for me, it's an all day thing. When you said an hour, I was like, oh, wow, that's not bad. Dude, Dan, I am not exaggerating. 5 hours, they won't call your name.
Wow.
People will be banging on the door and they just ignore the knocks at this point. Like, dude, it's like, come on, man, been here 4 hours. Like,
wow.
Yeah, dude, 5 hours I walked out. I was like, I can't do it, man. I can't even wait.
Well, at least your place is in a building. My place is like, it's just a storefront. So you're on the sidewalk and you open a door and you're in the doctor's office right there.
My dental place, though, is in Chinatown, and it's above like one of those places where they sell like speakers and cell phone cases, and you gotta like go inside through that. Dude, I'm like, I can't believe this.
Yeah. Well, Medicaid, it's just like they send you where they send you.
Yeah.
And this is just, this is the gig.
This is what you got to do.
Yeah, and all those Medicaid doctors too. It's like that's not their only. That's like their 1 day a week gig where they got to do that kind of. They have like 4 different offices around town.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so my doctor is like way out in Long Island or something. I think she comes into the city once a week just to do this for fun or something.
I've never seen the same doctor twice.
Yeah, exactly. People always make this big deal. You hear like conservative guys when they talk about like, government health care.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we should be able to choose our doctors. We want the freedom to choose. It's like, what does that even mean?
And how do you know if they're going to be good?
How do you know anything about your doctor? I want to see a doctor. I don't need to see the same guy. The guy doesn't know who I am.
Yeah, it's not like he's going to remember.
I had a joke about it where it's like choosing your doctor is just looking at a list of Indian names.
Right.
And it's like, which Dr. Patel should I go to?
the best.
There's one here.
Bro, the best one I had was an Indian doctor. I had one doctor from DR, and dude, he was telling me, And when he moved to America, because I had an STD check, he's like, yeah, you got to quit. He goes, even me, when I was a doctor in DR, he's like, sometimes I'd have 2-3 patients. I'd just have sex with them. Dude, his patients, yeah. And he was a good-looking guy, man. Looked like a damn model.
Wow.
And he's like, I keep condoms right there. And, you know, some of them, they just come see me.
You got to cut this out, though?
Yeah. He was like, in New York, you can't do it.
Wow.
Yeah, I got an STD check, and he's asking me, he's like, so what made you want to get checked? And, you know, I'm just telling him, well, you know, everything. I feel like I'm in church confessing.
Yeah.
And then he's like, ooh, man, you can tell by his faces. That's not good.
Yeah, right. Telling him about LOL.
Right. And then he goes, in New York, you can't play around with that stuff. He's like,
I'm pretty sure in the Dominican Republic, you also can't play around. I think that is like kind of the capital of the world of not playing around.
Yeah, dude. And he told me, he was like, he'd have packs of condoms.
Wow.
And he was like, patients would come see him, married patients, and he'd just have them set up. Oh, it's okay. Tell them come through. And they just walk in, he'd knock it out, check their heartbeat, and then that would be it.
I don't know, why was this doctor telling you this, though?
Right. Medicaid, bro.
Yeah, right. He's like, well, what are you going to do, not come? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't. You have no choice.
Right.
It's either this or pay $3,000 cash.
I was into it. I was like, yeah, that's dope, man.
It's just like being your buddy.
Yeah, he told me, he's like, yeah, I married a young girl now. That's what he said.
Yeah.
He was like 50 years old. He's like, ooh, she's 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Strong. That's what he kept saying. Strong.
I mean, like the thing with my doctor's office, the office itself is so shitty. And it's like you can hear the train above you, and it's like everything's shaking. It's dirty.
By jerk chicken.
But like the doctor itself is like the best doctor I've ever had.
Indian
she's
guy?
Like, no, she's like this like Jamaican woman.
Ooh.
She's like the nicest woman I've ever met. And she's so like perfect in the room, but it's just like the trade-off is just, I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah.
Because it's like you got to pick, I don't know if I'm going to pick like, you know, a nicer facility with like a really mean doctor or this just, you know, angel of a woman who's just in the slums.
Yeah, I thought you meant, I don't know if you could hook up with the Jamaican one.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose
No, not this woman. This is like Mother Teresa.
Oh, I see. Yeah, those are good ones.
Yeah. Every once in a while you find a real doctor like that where it's like, I trust this woman.
I got this one guy I got one time. He's great. Actually, twice I think I spoke to him now. Maybe he's like the head guy in this place because he's always there. But they'll be like, oh, let me go ask. And, dude, he just comes in. A lot of it's just having confidence. I got this lump on my arm, and this doctor's all nervous about it. The one, I don't know. I got to ask. This guy comes in. I couldn't understand what he was saying, but I could tell it was not an issue. Squeezed it a couple times. No, it's nothing. Showed me he's got one. He's like, it's popular in India.
Wow.
And this and that. And he was like, he told me exactly what it was. He's like, we'll do the test, but I know this is what it is. Do the test, boom, that's what it was.
Wow.
You know? But they want to cut this one off now, just so to be extra safe. He's like, we could test it, but he's like, I know this is what. And I'm like, you know, the dude's so confident.
Yeah.
But
I mean, people, that's what you want in a doctor. It's just a guy who's just like not. He's seen it all.
Right.
This guy who's like, I mean, especially these like Medicaid doctors who it's like they see crazy stuff. And they see it constantly. So it's just like, yeah, I see this. I've seen that 4 times a day.
Right.
You might be bad, but it's like whatever you got, everybody else got it too. So
right.
Yeah, you're not alone in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the confidence. I guess my spot, the only thing that really bothers me about my place is the wait. And you could tell it's secondhand medical. Like, dude, they're not.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like I had medical before. I had good medical. And they treat you better. The equipment's new. Shit's clean.
Oh, yeah.
You know, now they're like using like, you know, it's like we're in the 80s. When you walk in my place, it's like 1981 in
Everything's all bulky.
Right.
They got to flip a switch.
I said next.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you want this girl giving you a shot?
Yeah. Yeah, they never like the Medicaid, the dentist too. I think even like a new dentist, if you think about it, they haven't changed that technology since in like 30 years.
We got to bite the thing.
You got to bite the thing and there's still tubes.
Yeah.
And the guy has to go to the other room and flip a switch to turn on the x-ray or something.
That thing's sucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think they would change that by now anyways.
Yeah. The thing with like Medicaid too, though, is that what sucks is just knowing that like, because right now where I'm, you know, things are pretty bad for me financially.
Uh-huh.
You know, I gotta, you know, we gotta make this work. We gotta find a plan. I don't know, music, something, night cream.
Yeah.
But we gotta make something work. But it's like, because right now I'm poor and I'm getting on like government benefits and stuff. But The worst place to be is not poor. The worst place to be is just above poor,
Right.
where you can't get Medicaid insurance anymore, and you just have to pay out of pocket.
Yeah.
Because that's when you get really screwed. So it's like for us to really make this, for me to like have an actual like good life, I got to jump from poor to like real rich.
Yeah.
Even regular rich is like, that's going to be kind of a headache.
And what's considered regular rich? What's considered above the point to where you'll pay $100,000 a year?
100 grand.
You'll pay your medical at that?
Yeah, well, at that, I think you make it 100 grand, you probably have a job that's paying you benefits. But if I didn't, if it was just self-employed, 100
Yeah, it'd
grand,
be us doing this.
I'd probably, yeah. I mean, you could pay for insurance at that point too out of pocket. But
1,000 a month.
anything less than 100 grand is you are like one injury away from just wiping out everything.
It's crazy because I know a girl that makes 300 grand, my ex, and dude, she'd go buy like, she bought a sweater for $1,200 one time. Like it was nothing, but that 300 grand still don't go that far. She wasn't like, I thought she'd be like flying private jets, doing
Right.
some Andrew Tate stuff, drinking
Yeah.
special chicken or eating whatever. Like, I don't know what I figure.
Yeah.
I have no clue what people do.
Well, that's New York City too. So you're not really like, it's not like really going to go that far.
Yeah, and I guess she has a house in another country anyway too, so she's kind of losing out on that. But it's just not as lavish as you would think. 300
Yeah.
grand. Like, I guess in New York, it's not. I mean, she has her own apartment.
Yeah.
You know, that would be cool to just know. Oh yeah, I don't need. I mean, I like living with you, but it would be cool just to know.
Oh yeah.
I don't need this to survive.
Of course. Yeah. Well, just like, I think even like, because doctors, it's not like it gets good until you get past like even 100 grand. The doctor's office isn't like nice. It's just like a regular place.
Right.
But it's like once you get to like 200, 300 grand, then it's like spa treatment.
Yeah.
Then it's like walk in and like, you know, because always people say like, oh, you should, when someone's telling you about something, they're like, oh, you should call your doctor and talk to your doctor. But it's like, I can't call my doctor.
Right.
I'm not gonna get that guy this lady on the phone talking to me. I just want to throw this out there. Let's see. What do you think it is?
Right.
It's like, no, that's not how doctors work.
When you go into the parking lot of my place, it's all these foreigns. They all say doctor plates, and you could tell how much the doctors are making. Like the surgeon got a Lambo. You know, then there's like somebody else with like a Tesla. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, there's definitely a pay difference.
Yeah. Your doctor's probably on the train.
Yeah, right. I guarantee
Taking the 2
you.
train.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, man. I don't know if I seen my doctor on public transportation, I'd have to quit going to him.
Yeah, I mean, some of these doctors don't make that much money because it's like with the insurance and everything, and it's like it's a hard way to make a living.
Dude, you know, I don't really recognize people when I see them in public like that. I don't know if I had my deli guy that I've known him. At the deli, I know who he is.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm on the train. He grabs my leg. I didn't know it was him.
Oh yeah.
And I look at him, give him a real dirty look, and I move. And he didn't know it was me. So he got all uncomfortable.
Whoa.
We both saying the next day at the deli, he goes, "Were you?" I go, "Oh, dude, that was you."
Wow.
He's like, "I can't believe you just let some stranger grab your leg."
Yeah. Yeah, you could have gotten into a fight.
Yeah, dude. And neither of us knew. We didn't recognize each other, I guess.
Wow.
You know.
Have you ever had like real good insurance though?
I don't know if it was real good. I had Anthem, Blue Cross, Blue Shield. Like,
Yeah.
And at the time, that was pretty good. Like, I remember going places, like, to my doctor, and they would be like, you know, they just prescribe you stuff.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, I got prescribed. I told my doctor I couldn't sleep, and they gave me all these Xanax.
Wow.
Did I ever tell you about that?
No.
Yeah, dude. They told me, yeah, take these Xanax, and dude, they messed me up so bad.
Yeah. You're
was
supposed
like-
to take like half of one.
Right, and they had me taking 3 a day.
Whoa.
And they prescribed them to me.
Jeez.
And, you know, I was really selling my problem to them.
Yeah.
Like saying I couldn't sleep, and I wanted them to prescribe me something. I was doing some Googling, and it says, like, you know, you got to really, you know, the doctors don't give out sleeping medication easy.
Yeah.
So I was really, like, going in, so I oversold it, I think. This
Wow.
Doctors, I was like, yeah, I don't know. You know, sometimes I just start going nuts, and I'll stay up for
Yeah.
3 days just going,
Sometimes I punch myself. Yeah.
I was just telling him, be screaming, and you know, I'm always worried. I you know, I see ghosts. I said to him, I think once.
Wow.
And dude, anyways, yeah, 3 Xanax a day, like 3 times a day. And dude, it had me rocked, dude.
Yeah.
One night I told you I was on them. I don't know if I ever talked about this on the podcast. I didn't know what I was doing, dude. Like I rode a Ferris wheel. I had no clue. Somebody sent me a picture of it.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And I was
Wait,
just
I
doing
thought Xanax. I thought you fall asleep. That's not like Ambien where you like sleepwalk and you're moving around.
You're awake, but you just don't remember. They call them mind erasers on the street.
Wow.
I mean, I don't know. You take it as soon as you. Mine was to take it as soon as I woke up. Take one after lunch and one after dinner.
That's like anxiety meds.
Yeah.
Right?
And I'll tell you what, it works because I didn't care about nothing.
Oh yeah.
I'm terrified of heights. I didn't even know I was on the thing.
Wow.
The Ferris wheel. Yeah, dude, I fell asleep. One time I went to the gas station, Sheetz gas station, where they got the food and stuff. You know, you could order it. And I go there, and I ordered something. I'm like, whatever. And I remember going, and the guy was, the next day, he goes, hey, man, you all right? I'm like, yeah, why? He goes, dude, you were messed up last night. He goes, you fell asleep. I was like, in my car? He goes, no, on the chips.
Wow.
He's like, you were standing up, sleeping
Jesus
on the
Christ.
chips. He's like, dude, you were snoring.
Wow.
And he's like, we put you in the back room and let you sit in the chair. You slept back there for like 4 hours.
Wow.
And you got up and left. Dude, one time I came home and my tire was gone off of my car. Like, it was broken off, and I still managed to get the car home.
Wow.
The tire was
so you
nowhere to
just
be
drove
found.
on like the
There
wheel?
was, I don't
the
know
rim?
if the rim was touching the ground. It was a BMW. It was rear wheel drive.
Yeah.
And it was, what do you call it? Dude, I woke up and I go outside and I remember hitting like a pothole. So I was like, let me check my car.
Yeah.
And dude, there was no, I'm not Dan, I'm not lying.
Wow.
There was no front tire. So I'm like, oh man, I had a hill where you pull in. So I walked down there. There's no rim, no tire, nothing, dude.
Wow.
It's just broke off. The caliper, everything. It's just like broke off.
Jeez.
And yeah, dude, I had to like buy the whole setup, the rim, the tire, the rotor, all this shit, dude. It was crazy.
Just imagine that moment when the tire came off and your Zen brain is just like, oh, it's all good.
I don't got no anxiety.
Keep it trucking me. Right? It's all good.
So everything's
Just driving around listening to Bob Marley.
Man, I'm
One
thirsty.
love.
Yeah.
It's scary to think how many people these days are on pills, taking oxys and stuff.
Yeah.
And like even if they're getting prescribed from a doctor, but it's like those people are driving.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Dude, it's crazy. Yeah, prescribed and not prescribed at these parties now.
Yeah.
Like everybody don't do pills. I know I had a couple famous things about drugs, dude.
Yeah, right.
Don't do them, man.
Yeah,
do not
don't drive at least. Good God.
But yeah, they're busting everybody with fentanyl and stuff.
Yeah.
Just like the old Cheech and Chong thing. One time, this was like what did it for me. You know, I was hanging with a girl and she used to give people pills, like, and she didn't know what the hell they were.
Yeah.
They were like not in bottles, and people were just taking them. And you just gotta wait and see what happens. You
It
know,
was just like oxys or something.
it was like
Vicodin?
ecstasy, methadone. I don't even know, but like she would tell people that she had Klonopins, and then it turned out one was an ecstasy pill.
Whoa.
Or something, you know, and then she didn't even know what the stuff was, like methadone, you know. I remember because she got me. She was like, "It's Xanax." When I was taking these Xanax like that, I started to get relying on. They're addicting of a drug,
of course,
you know. So you'll start to rely on that feeling. And anyways, I didn't have any left because I was giving them to her actually too. She wanted some. I had so many, and I gave them all away because I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna quit." And I don't know. I was like, man, I kind of need the anxiety medicine. I really couldn't sleep. So she gives me one, and it turns out I don't know what the hell it was.
Whoa.
Dude, like I was tripping out, dude.
Plan B pill?
She was telling me she thinks it was ecstasy. It probably was Plan B. Yeah, who knows? She's like, I really don't know what it is.
Wow.
She's like, how do you feel? I said, not good.
Jeez.
Dude, I had a Lil Wayne CD. There was a Lil Wayne CD at the house, and they were playing it, and I couldn't understand anything Lil Wayne was saying. I instantly got worried. I'm like, what pill is this?
Wow. You took the Lil Wayne pill.
Yeah.
Hey, doc.
Yeah.
I got a problem.
Well, I heard the CD in the morning and still didn't understand it, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I'm good.
Jeez.
It was one of those albums. But, yeah, no, I was terrified. I was like, am I going to die? My heart was racing. You start to get on your head. Like, the mind's so powerful, dude.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know what you took. Dude, I was freaking out.
Wow. Well, I mean, there's some people, especially because we're talking about like Medicaid doctors where it's sort of like a shady doctor.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some doctors where that's just their whole gig.
Write the
It's
script.
just you show up, they just write you this prescription. That was my first Medicaid doctor. It was like, I was doing a joke about this where it was like, I show up and like, because I had like, I couldn't breathe through my nose at night. I was getting allergies. That's why I went to the doctor. I told the nurse that. She wrote in the thing. Doctor walks in. Immediately, she was just like, we're going to write you some anti-depression pills. And I'm like, no, it's my nose. I can't breathe through my nose. She's like, oh, yeah, that sounds depressing. She was immediately trying to get, she didn't even ask what I had. That's how they work.
Well, because she knew what you had, Medicaid, charge it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how they tell me. They're like, oh, don't worry, you got Medicaid, right? It won't cost you nothing. Like, yeah, but I don't want another addiction. Yeah, they just like setting you up for stuff. They'll send me, every time I go to the doctors, I end up with 3 more visits. I'm like, well, I'm going to take care of this shit now.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm writing you up for this. I want you to see a skin doctor and this and that. Because I said, they say ask your doctor about Propecia. Yeah. I asked him, dude, he wants to set me up with some skin specialist.
Well, that guy's getting a kickback from somebody.
Right.
It's just like all your cruise ship stuff.
Yeah, he's
the cab driver's, he's in cahoots with the massage parlor.
Dude,
This is his buddy.
I got this one guy in DR. His family's in New York in the Bronx, but he got deported. And he's trying to set me up with a girl in DR, this pretty girl. I'm sure he's getting a kickback.
Wow.
He's like, yeah, I set up Americans all the time with these girls from DR.
Wow.
Dude, he's FaceTiming me, her and stuff. She's like, hello, I want to come to America. Dude, I swear to God.
He's trying to get you to marry her or something?
I don't know, but he was the driver. I met him. Dude, he picked me up and took me to the airport.
Wow.
And then he was telling me, anything you need, man, I'll set you up with a good wife.
Huh.
He kept telling me she already has a kid. Like, it's a good thing,
Yeah. Well,
it's not a bad thing either.
Hey, she's, still got some gas in the tank there.
Yeah, and DR, that's instant family right there. Boom. Imagine I had a family that quick.
Well, just imagine, too, think about yourself just from like a self-esteem perspective. What other guys is that girl seeing on FaceTime? Right? You pop up. She's like, oh, thank God. At least this guy's not in his fucking 60s.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, God. Yeah, probably.
This guy's not in jail, at least.
Yeah. The guy kept saying, he makes money. The dude kept telling her.
Yeah, right.
I could hear him while I'm on the phone with her. He makes money.
Yeah, he starts
came
doing your act.
I met the dude's mom. You know what's crazy? I dated a girl for 3 years, never met her mom. I already met this girl's mom.
Wow. I think in those cultures, though, it's like when you start dating a girl, you just immediately, you're in the family.
Yeah.
You're just like hanging out. You're part of like, everybody goes out in a group of 12.
Yeah, you're
right.
right.
Just like, yeah, here's my,
Man,
Tia.
yeah, you're right. That's it. The mom's moving in too.
Yeah, right. All of a sudden, you're in a studio apartment with 6 people.
And we're all on Medicaid.
Yeah, right. You're working as a plumber now.
Yeah.
In the union.
I'll fix it. Maybe I'll fix it. Mucho bello. Yeah,
I think, though, in like, I've always heard that in Mexico, like when people are telling me they grew up in Mexico, when they say going to the doctor in Mexico, they just mean you go to the pharmacy. The pharmacist is just the doctor you go to. There's no like regular doctor.
Yeah, I've been there. It's like that too in these islands, like Grand Cayman.
Yeah.
Even though they've been filming movies there for years, they just got their first hospital.
Wow.
It's 2023. It's not even finished yet. And it's crazy to think that there's a whole island. You have to fly to Miami if you need a hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, no, in Mexico it is like that. There it's crazy because you could go to 3 different spots in Mexico, like Cozumel, heavy tourist. You go there to try to buy like, Viagra, like testosterone. That's what a lot of people are buying, or painkillers.
Yeah.
And it's this totally different price from Ensenada. You go to Ensenada, it's like $3 compared to here. It's like 20.
Wow. Well, compared to America, it's like 100.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The people always get the gels, and dude, they get them so much that they're sold out of them always. All the places are like, it's like $40 for testosterone.
Wow.
Gel packs, and people will be like, yeah, let me get 10 of them.
Yeah.
You'll see them in line yelling, what do you mean you don't got it?
Wow.
I called you.
Yeah.
But Ensenada's like that too, dude. It's like a pharmacy on every other corner.
Yeah.
Drugs for less. Get your drugs here.
Yeah.
It's like the same way we got weed stores in our delis. That's how
yeah.
Ensenada drugstores are.
Yeah, the locals must be just like, man, another one?
One girl
How much
knew,
Viagra do these people need?
Right. One girl I knew bought some crazy painkillers, like knockoff for Vicodins, for like $2 a piece, and she bought like 300 of them.
Whoa.
She's like, yeah, you can't beat this price. I'm set.
Jesus Christ.
She was
I
a
feel like,
marathon
though,
runner.
of all, like, the drug habits to have, because some guys are, like, really shooting dope, or they're, like,
Yeah.
crack meth or whatever. Seems like pills, at least, like, that's at least you could keep the pills coming in, right? It's not like it's hard to get.
If they're medical pills, I don't know. If it's like some Oxy 80s, probably.
Yeah.
It depends on the pills. Methadones are probably hard to get
Yeah.
unless you're in Detroit.
But I always feel like these pills, are they are they in, like, short supply?
Well, you need those white collar crimes. You need the doctors. If you have medical, you're good.
Yeah.
But it's the problem. It's the people without medical.
Yeah.
It's those people that are right above being poor.
Oh,
They're
man.
struggling to get the pills.
Yeah.
Because if you buy it, it's not cheap. I think, like, I don't even know the prices of pills, but I think those Oxy, like, I know one thing, because we have a mutual friend who was buying them all the time. Adderalls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a shortage now.
Yeah, dude, those things are expensive. People are paying like $10 a pill happily. He's like doing an advance on his credit card at a bank, like like pulling the shit out to get pills. I was with him, like, dude, how bad do you want these?
Wow.
Can't you just get less?
Yeah. Can you just drink coffee?
Right.
Man, it's like, you ever think about just how glad you are that you don't have that? Whatever, just like the pill, any kind of, like,
addiction to pills.
just taking.
Yeah.
I don't have any kind of medication that I got to take.
Man, I'm so happy about that.
It's like every once in a while you got to remind yourself, like, oh my God, thank God I don't have that.
I know
I got a lot of other stuff wrong, but that I don't got to deal with that at least.
And sometimes I'll be honest, I've met, like, I dated a girl once that had to take a bunch of pills from the doctor, but they're like a mood stabilizer and something for, like, being bipolar and, like, one for antidepressant. And it's like, I think that we could wipe out 3 or 4 of these right out the gate. Like, I don't think you need, like, let's be honest, we're all a little bipolar. And mood swings.
Hell yeah. Well, I think that some of these pills, it's not for you. It's for everybody else. Where it's like, you're bipolar, and it's like this pill is just going to kind of knock you out, but at least everybody else isn't going to have to deal with your shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, as a society, we all voted. This is what you got to take.
Yeah. That I never thought about it like that. Yeah, baby, I don't want you to take those pills. Yes, you do.
Right? We all want you to take that pill.
Yeah.
These other ones you could do whatever with, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm happy I didn't. Adderalls, I got prescribed those for a short period too, because those are like to help you pay
ADD
attention.
stuff,
It's like that Ritalin stuff, and that's what I had when I was a kid. Like, I wasn't on Ritalin, I probably should have been, but I was just like that ADD kid that's running around shaking his head and shit.
Yeah.
And we just, everybody in the family was ADD, so we didn't think anything was wrong with it.
You just deal with it.
They're like, dude, that's a Leonelli. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
The boy's going to be a boxer.
Yeah, so anyways, when I was about 24, I remember the doctor, when I started getting into comedy, I was telling the doctor, I'm like, I can't read the one page of a book. I go 3 lines, and sometimes I have to reread the same thing 7 times, the same sentence.
Right.
I'll keep daydreaming. And then I just asked him about that one day. And I was like, I'm learning to say, well, you think that's what it is? And then he prescribed me those pills. Bro, I did everything but read on them things. I cleaned up. I put the books away.
Wow.
Them things will make you do shit.
It's just like a pep kind of thing?
It just makes you, it's like, I don't know, it just makes you talk. You'll be like, oh, yeah, I went down the street. I did that. You'll be wrapping up cords, cleaning shit.
It's like Coke?
I guess, man, I had a lot of, it's like Coke if the high lasted 16 hours.
Wow.
I see why the college kids do it, because they're all, you got to do shit when you're in college. Like,
Yeah.
I was like detailing cars on it, dude. I was blowing these cars away.
Wow.
You don't want to eat. I was like cleaning the garage door.
Is there a downside?
My skin was breaking out, so I couldn't do it. Like, and I was barely even doing them because I naturally do have a lot of energy. Well, I used to before I got fat. And, dude, I was doing like a half of a one.
Wow.
Like, there's some people that probably eat 3 or 4 of those things.
Yeah.
I was literally doing a half of a one, and I was good for a good 10, 12 hours.
Wow.
And I wouldn't even eat. I lost a ton of weight. That's a way to lose weight. Dude, you just don't, you can't eat. You don't want to eat. I lost like 30 pounds in a few weeks.
Wow.
And then my face, it dehydrates you though. My face was getting real blotchy. I had like some sort of side effect.
Yeah. See, the thing is though, it sucks because like that drug is like 80% perfect.
Yeah, like Limitless.
If they could just make that kind of drug but without the downside, it's like everything would be better.
You crash. I mean, the human body just
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Unless you were able to be smart on it, like, and read a book. But I just feel like,
Well, I think like you're just naturally not inclined to read.
yeah,
Because it's like you weren't reading before. You're not going to pick up a new habit.
right.
Like, I've always been curious about Tolstoy.
I've been reading the Bible recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I actually highly recommend the Bible. I used to be not like, I don't know what I used to think about it, but, you know,
I'm always just like hotel rooms, flip through it or something.
I got somebody that's sending me quotes, and there's some good ones, man.
Yeah.
Like iron sharpens iron, human sharpens human. That's a good one.
That's not in the Bible.
Yeah, it is.
That's the quote?
The quote is, well, the original quote is iron sharpens iron, man sharpens man.
Oh, wow.
But, nowadays you can't say that. But
yeah. Person sharpens person.
I'm telling you, though, it makes you feel good reading it. Like talking about this medical stuff.
Wow.
That's what got me into it. I was telling this guy, I was always have anxiety. I tell you all the time, I think I got something.
Yeah, me too.
And he's always like, dude, read the Bible. And I never listened to him. He started sending me these quotes. And then one day, dude, I was just like, let me read some of these. And I started getting into it. It makes you feel good.
The quotes are like cool, but it's like when you actually read it, it's in like ye old English, right?
Well, the quotes he's sending me is like updated versions.
Yeah.
It's all like politically correct and stuff.
Yeah.
But isn't that crazy they had to change the Bible?
Yeah, well, I mean, like even the Bible that you read in a hotel room, it's not like they didn't write the Bible in English. So it's
right.
Like, this has been translated a bunch of times, so it's always being adapted. But even when you read the regular Bible, it's like I don't even know it's like reading the Constitution or something.
Yeah, I never really sat down and read the regular Bible. When I was real young, I think I read the story of Adam and Eve once.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it on like The Simpsons or something. I know the gist of it, but yeah, I've never actually. I feel like this is like I'm saving that for like when I go to jail.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that first night in jail, I'm gonna crack that open.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. I know somebody I was friends with. He was locked up for a year. He read the whole Bible front to back.
Yeah.
And he became an atheist after that. I think he missed the point. I think a lot of
people
miss the
point.
That
point.
Yeah. I mean, I think people are like, "Oh, come on, you really think this?" And it's like, dude, you don't. To me, well, you know what made me start reading the Bible was I seen an interview of Eddie Murphy on Arsenio Hall.
Yeah.
And did you see that interview where he's like, read your Bible?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's all it took for you?
That's all it took.
Wow.
I mean, Eddie's an idol of mine.
Yeah.
But yes, and I was like, you know what? Let me actually read some of these quotes people are sending me. You ever feel like, you know what I feel like? I feel like it's following your gut. Like, you ever get that gut feeling? Do you follow that? If something just says make a left here and go there, would you do that?
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
It doesn't come up very often.
It doesn't. But the more you read the Bible, I think
Intuition.
the more that'll come up.
Yeah. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, man, it's crazy because the Bible's all about basically trusting that intuition.
Huh.
At least from the quotes I've been reading. And then also it's like a blueprint of how to live. Like I used to think the Bible, I'd be like thinking there's some, I don't know. I used to be like, if I read the Bible, my mother's ghost might pop up. I'd be terrified.
Right,
I was like,
yeah.
I used to close.
It's not magic.
Right. I'd be like, please don't show up. I don't want to see a ghost.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like a blueprint for life. Like, think about it. I was a jerk to somebody a little bit, and that's how I got in that fist fight. If I would have knew that quote, man sharpens man, now I'm like trying to help people out,
Wow. Do you actually get that, like, you still get that anxiety about medical stuff?
Yeah, but then I read the Bible and it just goes away.
Yeah.
Like I'll read one of these verses. Like there's another one about you got to trust, he's trusting me and,
yeah.
Stuff like that. Just, man, I'll tell you what, this life's too hard, I think, to go on without that type of shit. We need some sort of hope.
Right.
Or just at least the thought of I'm okay.
My thing with like medical stuff, because I also get like super paranoid about cancer and everything, but like what I always think about is that there's like very smart people that are working on cures and treatments for everything, and there's billions of dollars that are going in that direction. You saw what happened with like the vaccines and everything.
Yeah.
What happens when they're actually motivated? But it's like the longer we live, the more likely that there's going to be a treatment for whatever that thing is that you get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At some point, we're going to get whatever kind of cancer we're going to get. But there's a guy right now who's working on that thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, all you got to do is not get hit by a bus. because there's no cure for that.
Right.
But in the meantime, all you got to do is just not get that. And the longer we stick around, the longer we're going to stick around at that point.
If you can just survive it out, or if dementia, I don't know, until you get. That's one that
Even
I worry
that, though,
about.
they're working on that.
They are.
And that shit's going to be like, I don't know, AI or something. They're going to figure out a way to do that.
Yeah,
They're going to figure out a way to do. The thing is, my thing is always like, whatever it is you get, you want to get one of the big ones.
What do you mean?
I mean, like,
that's scary to hear.
Well, I mean, like, colon cancer is like almost everybody gets that now, men especially.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, you want at least. There's been a million trials of how this goes. The doctor, you're gonna find a doctor who knows exactly how to do that. What you don't want is one of those like niche diseases.
Oh, I see.
Where it's like,
oh,
this is Dominic's disease.
Oh,
and it's like, you want to see this? You got to go down to Miami. We know there's one doctor in the country who kind of knows how to deal with this.
Yeah.
And it's like that. Then you're screwed because there's no like big industry that's working on your cure. But you want like regular cancer. You want ALS or something, because it's like, no, they got parades for this every year.
Yeah.
They got Sting doing benefits for you.
You don't want the one guy. There's one guy.
Yeah, right.
And unfortunately, he hates straight men.
Yeah, unfortunately, he takes Thursdays off. But yeah, come back.
This is the Dominic disease, bro.
Yeah, right.
When they name one after you,
yeah, right.
Like, you're done, bro.
Lou Gehrig had to be pissed.
Oh my god, man, fuck you.
Trust me, there's got to be a better name for this, please. No, this is you, buddy.
Yeah, I got a son.
Yeah, right. No, but like, they're all this stuff. It's like, I feel like any of these diseases, it's like, as bad as things are in the world right now, at least they know more than they did. Any of the stuff, if you got it 30 years ago, you would have been totally screwed.
Unless you were a millionaire.
Exactly. Well, that's the other problem, is that every time there's a treatment for anything, at first it's going to be like super expensive because the drug companies are trying to make money. But after like 20 years, you get the generic versions.
Yeah.
So what we want is to get whatever disease we're going to get like way later in the future.
Did you ever read that thing? And I don't know if this is made up. I got this news from TikTok. Somebody read it. What that thing John D. Rockefeller said, like, he's like, we'll poison their food and we'll give them medicine when they're sick.
This sounds like pretty standard TikTok. Is this Dr. Sebi?
Yeah, no, this is, I would totally go and be like, we got to be vegan. That's the real key.
I think that's honestly, too, I think that shit works.
Yeah.
If anything happened, that's why it's like right now I'm sort of flirting with like plant-based stuff and a lot of like all these smoothies. But I haven't gone full vegan yet. But it's like the day that I get that diagnosis, you get to press that button where it's like, at least I can try this.
Yeah, dude, I'm going vegan. I think I'm going to, honestly.
Yeah.
I just ate some meat, dude. I honestly feel sick from the shit.
I think it's going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going vegan, dude. A friend of mine's vegan, my camera guy. And, bro, he doesn't even need to wear deodorant. He doesn't have to use hair gel. Dude just looks perfect all the time.
Right. Well, I mean, like, I think I've seen some pretty sloppy looking vegans, but that's just sort of how you treat yourself.
But some people put on the act like they're a vegan. Like, I know people that say they're vegan. Then you see them out somewhere. They're eating a regular cheeseburger, running away from you. It's like, who are you trying to impress, bro?
Right.
But, this dude's a full-on vegan. He his jacket is like it's a vegan jacket. I don't even
no ham.
Yeah, who eats their jackets? And it's like, bro, shit's just no meat, no nothing.
Right, yeah.
I mean, he basically doesn't really eat. He's a thin guy. I don't know what he eats. Tofu.
That's the other thing too. I'm realizing because today I had to fast before I got my blood test and everything, so I didn't eat until like 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Were you weary when you? Because when I give blood, that shit, man, you gotta.
I close my eyes. You mean like lightheaded from the blood? Nah. I just can't look at somebody drawing blood from me.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not into looking at that either. I mean, that's the thing. Back to the medical nurses, you're really rolling the dice. Some are just ratchet nurses. They're just sticking you. One girl, you could see my veins. Yeah. She's like, should I put in that big ball? I'm like, I don't know. She couldn't get my vein for nothing.
Wow.
Dude, it's right there. I'm like, oh, God. She's like, I didn't get it good enough, dude. I'm bleeding. I'm all over the place. What's
crazy is that, like, because the doctor barely does anything in these situations. It's the nurse that gets you all prepped and does blood work. And it's like, what kind of training did this lady get?
Right. Night school.
Well, yeah, this looks like this girl is like 19 years old.
Yeah,
they gave her the job of sticking you with a needle and getting blood out of you.
Bro, when she was doing it, her phone keeps replaying the same TikTok video.
Yeah, right.
And she set it down.
Oh god,
It's like,
you gotta
oh,
hear
no.
some reggaeton shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, right. Well, it seems like this should be such an important job. This is the job that I want the doctor to do.
Right.
Everything else I can just kind of like figure out on my own. But
Yeah, the doctor really does nothing.
well, the doctor should be the one that's sticking a needle in you and taking blood. But it's just like when during the pandemic, all those like COVID testers on the street.
Right.
At first, it was like a serious doctor.
Yeah.
Because those doctors just had nothing to do. But like then after like a month, it was just like some high school kid.
Bro.
And it's just sticking a fucking thing up your nose and like moving it around.
It got so bad so fast. Those people, I'm
Yeah.
like, how'd you get this job?
That was like a Craigslist one-day training job.
Yeah, that's one of those jobs when you read in the ad and it just says call because they got to talk you into it.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, listen, you want to be a business owner?
Yeah. They say up to $30 an hour.
Yeah, make your own hours.
Yeah, be your own boss.
Yeah.
Same thing with like the dentist, like the dental assistant.
Yeah.
Was like poking around in your mouth. I remember when I was in high school, my friend's brother, he was working at like the orthodontist office as like an assistant. And it was like it wasn't weird to me at the time, but looking back, the kid was like 17 years old.
Yeah.
And he got to poke around in my mouth with like a metal thing.
See, I love my dentist now because they're in Chinatown. And dude, to me, that's no bigger confidence to me than she's not going to mess up. And she could be wrong. I'm like, she's more right than the American dentist that I had probably.
Hey, why?
I don't know because, she's Chinese. Like, she's just
Oh,
got to
yeah.
be good at it.
Right, yeah.
And dude, I don't know.
They're
Like,
sending their best.
yeah, it's like I feel so safe and comfortable with her.
Wow.
And, she told me stuff I never thought. Like I had receding gum lines on my bottom gums.
Damn, me too.
And all these doctors I went to my whole life, I'm 37 years old. None of them were like, yeah, you could do this. Maybe there's a surgery. They're like, eventually your bottom teeth are going to have to come out. It's just, right. Since I go see her, 8 seconds, she goes, oh, you got so-and-so. I Googled it. Sure enough, that's what I had. And it's my web. I need surgery. It needs cut. It's like not covered under medical. It's $7,000 to the surgery. But she's like, yeah, you need that.
Wow.
It's not covered, but she's like, you need it. And she's like, that's why your gums are receding. And I'm like, man, this, I should have got a Chinese doctor years ago.
I think there's a lot of people who would think the exact opposite, though.
Really?
That wouldn't trust the Chinese doctor.
That's insane.
You don't know what they're up to.
Well, I mean, what could they be doing?
She's putting some like microchips in you. That shit's getting back to President Xi.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm like, in my situation, I really feel like, you get these other doctors, they get the job because they know somebody, But it's like, I guarantee you, she had to pass so many tests just to come to America and be a dentist.
Oh, yeah.
She had to be like the top of her class, everything.
Yeah, and I mean, like she's probably bragging to her friends back home that she's in New York City.
Yeah.
They don't realize she's in Chinatown, Canal Street, but yeah.
Above a stereo shop.
Yeah.
That's the only
my
downside.
dentist was like, it's like, it's Medicaid, so they just send you where they send you. It's like in the acidic part of Bed-Stuy.
Oh, wow.
So when I'm going there, it's, Bed-Stuy, it's all just straight up Hasids for just blocks.
Yeah.
Just the hat.
And those kids will kick you. They're brutal. Those kids are bad.
Yeah. Well, those kids are the future landlords of New York City.
Yeah.
But they got the hat, the big jackets, and everything. So you walk in, it's like going to a different country.
Yeah.
And I remember during the pandemic, it was like late 2020, so it's still like pretty heavy pandemic.
Yeah.
And I'm like paranoid because it's the first time I go to the dentist. Go to Bed-Stuy, 0 masks anywhere.
Right.
Walk into the dentist's office, 0 masks in the dentist's office.
Wow.
I'm sitting there double masked up because I was still paranoid at the time. And this lady pokes her head in because she's coming in because the patient, she saw me first. And she talks to the receptionist like, do I got to wear a mask? And the receptionist's like, nah, you're good.
Oh, wow.
I was in the dentist's office, in the chair. And like even the dentist was looking at me like, what are you doing?
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they were so against the mask.
They didn't care. Well, I don't think they're against it. It's like that was the first glimpse of post-pandemic.
Yeah.
This is what it's going to be like.
My first glimpse was actually in the beginning of the pandemic. I went to Tampa. You couldn't even buy a mask.
Oh, yeah.
Bro, nowhere. Like they had the opposite. They had it would say on the doors, no mask. Instead of mask
Wow.
needed, dude, no mask. We don't sell masks. People were so against it in Florida. Nobody was wearing, you couldn't buy one, dude. Me and my girl was all nervous because of work and stuff.
Yeah.
And me too, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, man, we could not find masks for sale.
Right. Yeah.
We went to like 3 different CVS's.
Yeah.
It was like about 3 months into the pandemic.
Wow.
4 months, I think, as soon as you were allowed to fly again.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But people live long. Shit, I'll tell you what. In Florida, I bet you people weren't really probably getting sick. They're just
they
out there
were.
on the beach. You think?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Getting that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Pretty bad, actually.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they just didn't want to.
It was rough. Yeah.
Yeah, there was nobody on the beach. We were
Yeah.
like, damn, we got this place to ourselves. There was like some people 100 feet away.
Yeah. Do you ever think about though what those last years are gonna be like for you? Because I always think like,
What do you mean?
I mean, with those once you're in like your like 80s, 90s, and you're like, once you get to like Florida age,
No, I never think
and it's
about
just
that.
like, well, I don't think it's gonna be that bad, but it's just like those guys have to go when you just have to go to the doctor just like regularly.
Yeah.
Because some old people, it's just like a weekly trip at that point,
Yeah.
where you're just constantly going to the doctor. Everything's always breaking down. You're trying out different pills, and you come
Right.
back. But I always think that like by that point, once we're in our 80s and 90s, the drugs are gonna be so strong,
Yeah.
where it's like they're gonna have that shit dialed in.
Yeah.
Everything that you get now that costs $100, by then it's gonna be generic. So we're gonna be just oxyed out. Just straight up, like no pain. It's gonna be Bob Marley all day long.
Well, like with this AI stuff, man, like maybe, I don't know, maybe they'll come up with something to where we'll live mad long.
Oh yeah,
That would be crazy. I don't know. What if they came up with something where they're like, hey, listen, we have a way to put your soul in a computer. Do you want to live forever?
right.
Would you do it?
Oh yeah,
You would live forever?
oh yeah. If it was just in a computer,
Yeah,
absolutely.
your soul's in a computer.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think what the problem though is that like it's not that when they say like we're gonna give you pills and you're gonna live longer and medical technology is that it's not like you're gonna be like you're gonna live longer in your 20s.
Yeah.
You're just gonna stretch out that 95 years old forever.
Yeah.
Where you're just gonna be old and decrepit for a very long
Unless
time.
they started like growing bodies and they could figure out a way to put your soul in there.
Well, I think it's gonna be like you could reverse someone's aging because there's a lot of stuff you can already do that.
They did the first head transplant. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Bro, it's insane.
Yeah. But I think like it's going to be a lot of rich people are going to have all that technology for a lot longer than it's going to be a while before regular people are going to be getting that stuff.
Bill Gates probably has it.
Oh yeah.
He's probably gonna live forever.
Yeah.
Come up with some more fucking sicknesses.
Yeah. What do you think you're going to be doing to that?
When I'm 90 years old,
Yeah. Do you think you're going to go like straight the pill route or are you going to be just like
I'm gonna be a
I'm
vegan.
just taking it in?
Bro, honestly, I think that's gonna be my golden years when I'm 90.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be running every day. I'm about to be one of those 90-year-olds.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
Showing off.
Yeah. Walking
Gonna
in
go
the mall,
right.
have a pistol.
Pick a fight with some kid.
Yeah. Dude, I just seen one at the airport, man. This dude could have got smashed. Old white dude. He's putting his hand on this guy's chest. And man, the guy, I stepped in. I was like,
Oh, yeah?
I did. I was right there. I had to.
Yeah.
I was like, man, guys, just relax. I was like, relax, guys. He's like, bro, he's putting his hands on me. I was like, man, I know.
Wow.
But I was like, he's 90, man. Just don't let him.
The
don't
guy
let him
was that
affect
old?
your mood. The dude was probably like 85. He could barely
Wow.
stand up. And this other guy, I don't know what started it. I think it was just an old racist white guy, to be honest with you. And, dude, I'm like, the guts on this guy. He had to be senile to mess with. This dude would have murdered him with one punch.
Wow.
And I calmed down the situation, man. This dude was cocked back to hit him.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, dude, I said, man, it ain't worth it, man. It's not worth it, man.
Wow.
You're going on a trip.
See, the thing is though, if that old guy swung and like actually knocked the young guy out, that old guy would have felt so good about himself.
He would have felt young again.
He would have been telling everybody at the old folks home about
Yeah.
that. I went on my trip and beat the shit out of somebody.
Yeah, those older people, I imagine your ego would get messed up because that old guy, he was probably in a war, killed 500 people.
Yeah.
And, now he's like at an airport.
Well, I
He's
think
used-
in your head you still feel young.
yeah,
I don't feel very old.
I don't either.
Yeah, I think in your brain it's always going to be kind of like a difference between your brain and your body.
Yeah. I don't really feel old until, like and doing comedy, I meet a lot of these younger women, like
Yeah.
19, 20, and I don't feel old until like I got a new little girlfriend and I'm telling her like, okay, don't FaceTime me when you're driving. Like,
Yeah.
wear your seatbelt. You know, I shouldn't have to say these things.
Yeah.
It makes me realize like I am old. Like once you start thinking of consequences,
Yeah.
that's where I'm old at. But mentally, yeah, dude, I feel the same as I did when I was 7. It feels like just yesterday I was 7 years old, man.
Right.
What about reincarnation? You think I seen this thing? What's his name, man? That once actor he played. He was in that movie where he was like a rapper. Remember, he was from like Tennessee. He's like, man, hard out here, man. Remember that?
Oh, Terrence.
Yeah, Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
He said when he was in the womb, I think, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure there was a video of him talking about reincarnation, saying when he was in the womb, he remembered he had a past life. And he's like, don't forget, you're here again.
Wow.
And, you know, he's like, he can remember it like it's yesterday, just being in that womb, telling himself, don't forget, you're here again. You know?
What happens if he forgets?
I don't know. I guess we all probably forget.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a consequence to it then.
Well, I mean, just to know that, hey, looks like no matter what happens, I'm going to die and come back again.
Oh.
I don't know. Or chase every dream you got because you're like, yo, this is just a game.
Yeah. I think most of this stuff, I mean, like you think there's going to be like, people are going to remember you and there's going to be like all these achievements, but it's like, I think more and more, especially with like social media and stuff, people just, you get about a week after you die.
Right.
No matter how famous you are.
Yeah.
You get about like, you get a week. And then after that,
And
Prince, people were crying about Prince dying, David Bowie. And it's like a week later, everybody moves on.
And like the people that are fans of you are the ones that are only hurt for a week. And the real family members, they'll give them 2 days.
Yeah.
You know.
Something else is going to come up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got to work Saturday.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you never know. Yeah.